Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. In my project of doing 50 videos in 50 days, I thought I would do a shout out. Now, these channels are primarily pretty small and pretty new to BookTube. Over my years of being on BookTube, I have noticed how fluid the community is. People leave and people join all the time. And I know that when I was a little booktuber, when people would come to my channel, especially when I was just first starting out, and people would mention me or tag me in things, it just got me so excited because it made me feel really a part of our community. So I have 5 channels to share with you. I'm really excited to get into it. The first 3 channels are very, very, very new. They have anywhere between 2 and about 5 videos on their channel, and I thought we could give them a warm community welcome. The first person is someone I've talked about before. It's Mike at RiffRough Renaissance Reads. He asked me this wonderful question about Infinite Jest that I ended up making a whole video about, but what I like about him and another channel that I'm going to mention in just a second is that you get a real sense that Mike is a viewer of YouTube, that he knows our community, he already knows a bunch of us, and so it's almost like when you're meeting an acquaintance who already knows a bunch of your friends, you just like immediately feel comfortable with them, and that's how I feel about Mike. Now, Mike sets out to read classics that he felt like he missed, classics that are worth it, that he felt like he missed. And so I thought that was such an admirable goal. And so he's going through these, I don't know, these chunksters primarily, or those are the ones that I've noticed, that are giving him great satisfaction or giving him a lot to think about. And that is reflected in the second video that he posted, which was all about Moby Dick by Herman Melville. So I'm so excited to welcome Mike to our community. The second person is a reader like Maria, whom I'm guessing her name is Maria because it says that in her channel name. Please correct me if I'm wrong though. And what's great is that she mentions in her BookTube newbie tag that she has been watching BookTube for a decade. So again, you get the sense that she knows us. And so that's really cool. She's also a PhD candidate and is studying literature. But what really got me was that she did a little free library haul, and I did not know any of the titles that she spoke about. They were really obscure, and yet she had very specific reasons as to why she wanted to read those books. And I thought, man, you're a very interesting reader, first off. And second off, you have some really great little free libraries that have very, very fantastic choices. So I thought that was really neat, a neat element to her channel. Next up is M Reads. M Reads, yes. It stands for Emily. E-M stands for Emily. And she put up this really sincere, really honest video that, I don't know, it felt very raw, but in this wonderful way that you get when you're first making videos. Like there's this uncertainty of how to do it. And so anyways, this realness, right? Not saying that the people who have been doing it for a long time are not real. We are, but I think there's just this comfortability of confidence that you have when you come to the camera and you've been doing it for a while. And there is this grittiness in a way that happens in the first couple of videos. That, you know, people tend to put up. But anyways, you could really see that in M's video. But what I thought was so neat was that she was talking about how surreal it was to be making a YouTube video and to be on YouTube. And I remember having a very similar feeling, although the way that my energy came out was that I was extremely excited. Not unlike what you're seeing nowadays, but I was really elated. I was like on cloud 9 making my first few videos because I couldn't believe that I was going to be joining BookTube, a community that I had watched for years. So M explains that she is a lawyer. She's getting back into reading for pleasure. Her first love was The Lord of the Rings. And that she's still kind of, I don't know, she's still feeling out her reading taste. And she mentioned that she wants to be doing an American, like an American reading project, something that she has in her mind but hasn't fully sketched out. She's thinking about presidential biographies. She is thinking about perhaps some history books or maybe some American classics. And for that, I did want to just tell you, or if anybody else who's interested in this kind of project, 2 channels you must watch for this. Well, maybe even 3. One of which is Steve Donahue, who is a book critic and just a wonderful booktuber, but I think he even probably has a presidential biography starter kit, which is going to be a great entry point into getting into that kind of reading. You can also email him. He's just great. The second person is Hannah from Hannah's Books, who is a historian, who's also the daughter of a historian, particularly American history. And so she, throughout her channel, there's this underlining sprinkling of wonderful recommendations that have to do with American history. And the third one is going to be David Murphy, who I've been binging his videos recently, and he is just a history reader. He loves to read about economics, World War II, so on and so forth. But he's also just got some great recommendations across the board for this kind of nonfiction reading. He's also just a huge nonfiction reader in and of himself. So there's that. So those are 3 channels that I feel like you must watch, if I can give you that kind of advice, if you're interested in doing an American history reading project, both fiction and nonfiction, to be honest with you. Okay. And then let's think. Okay, so those are the 3 people who are like brand new to BookTube. Then I have 2 channels that are less brand new, but are still pretty brand new to BookTube. And the first one is Dawn's Book Reviews. Again, I'm assuming because of her channel name, her name is Dawn. And she reads classics, mostly Victorian classics, like the Brontes, Dickens, Daphne du Maurier, who's not a Victorian classic writer, but you get what I'm saying. But she also reads lesser known classics. In one of her videos, she was talking about how one of her favorite books is a book by Alexander Dumas' son. And I was like, that's kind of random. She also mentioned reading A Month in the Country and by J.L. Carr, and she really liked that. I really liked that book as well. And then she talked about this book, Annie John by Jamaica Kincaid, and she talked about it with such like passion and articulateness that it made me add it to my TBR. So I really, really, really like the way that Dawn speaks about books. There's just something really mesmerizing and thorough about it without giving spoilers. So I was really impressed by her channel. And then on a very similar vein, there is Kate, who has the channel Diary of a Provincial Lady. And she is very similar to Dawn in that I really, really enjoy the way that she talks about books. There's this thoughtfulness that is this bubbling underneath the surface, as she's incredibly articulate about what she likes and doesn't like. And what was interesting is that I had recently read The Mare by Angahard Hampshire, and so had Kate. And Kate had different critiques, although a very similar outcome to the way that I felt about that book. And so I stumbled upon it because I was like, okay, I want to know what other people are saying about this. And her channel came up, and I just really, really enjoyed watching her review of that, and then went on to watch several of her videos, all of which I very much enjoyed. Even though our reading tastes aren't exactly aligned, I can appreciate just the way that she speaks about books. And it was just really, 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 really refreshing, thoughtful, articulate. I mean, there are so many people who are that, but I'm just saying, like, I was impressed by her in particular. But yeah, that's it. Those are 5 booktubers that are new to BookTube or relatively new to BookTube that have relatively small audiences that I think that are worth a follow, worth checking out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you go over there and say hi, can you please let them know that I sent you? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but if you do, just because sometimes like a flood of people come and people are like, where did you come from? What happened? Just let them know that I sent you if you want. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If there's someone that you think I should follow, please let me know. I am always trying to do a good job of, riding the waves of booktube, meaning following new people as they pop up, and yeah, just always kind of growing the community in any way that I can, and being supportive in any way that I can. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye!